Hello, welcome back to my channel. Before we get started, grab your tea, grab your coffee. I've got my very cute owl mug over here. We need all the energy we can to start Alchemised. Now this is one of my most anticipated reads of the year, but it's also one of those like ones that I'm kind of scared to start because look at how big this book is. 1024 pages. This will be the biggest book I have read to date. And I got this stunning special edition from Kmart. I was so lucky. I saw it at the beginning when it first got released, but I had another special edition from Fairy Loot coming, and I'll link the card up there if you want to see that special edition. So I didn't want to get two before I even start reading the book. I prefer to read from like a floppy soft cover book, and then I couldn't find it anywhere anymore. I could only find the normal white end, so I was pretty bummed. Then 2 days ago I just walked into Kmart like ready to buy the other copy, and lo and behold, this beautiful edition was just sitting on the shelf. So obviously I grabbed it and it had to come home with me. We're going to attempt to start this today. I've heard some really good reviews, but that it can be quite confusing. So look, I've got my coffee, I am ready to start. To preface, I have not read any of the Harry Potter series. Don't come at me. I haven't read or watched any of the movies, so I'm not familiar with the magic system. I'm not familiar with Hermione and Draco. I'm not actually familiar with any of the characters or their relationships, so I am truly going into this blind. And it's pouring outside, so it's actually like the perfect weather to start this, I wanted to say cozy, but not cozy, this eerie, wintry kind of book. So let's get into it. Okay, let's do a little check-in. I'm about 50 pages in, so I'm not very far. I'm not gonna lie, I am so confused. Helena so far has woken up from some kind of like sedation, like a long period where she was put into stasis, and she's waking up and she doesn't know what's going on. And we're kind of in her point of view, just as confused as she is, trying to work out how she got here, why she's missing a chunk of her memories. And the thing is, these characters, they use like a first name and a last name, as well as like the terms like the High Necromancer or something, which is on the back of the blurb. And I'm trying to work out, are these the same people? Like, people just get thrown at you, all these characters, like here you go, here you go, here you go, no context. I don't know who they are, I don't know what their role is, I don't know if they're on the resistance side or on like the whatever the other side is. Like, which side are they on? Are they good or bad? Do I trust them? Anyway, I'm getting a bit confused, but Google is sort of helping me, but I'm also trying to avoid some spoilers. So that's my update so far, and it's actually making it a little bit difficult to follow the story. Like, I really want to be interested, but every time I come to these new terms and characters, I really get pulled out of the story again. But I heard that is the case, so I'm going to push on and hopefully get to the bit where it's a bit gripping. Well, that's new. Okay, I didn't know that was possible. I'm not gonna lie, there was a point where I almost gave up because I was like falling asleep, just trying to like push through, trying to puzzle all the pieces together. But something just happened, and if that happened, it's like a little crumb. Like, I think it's the beginning. It means there's some sort of weakness. I don't know if I can say that. I don't want to spoil anything. We are getting somewhere. Oh my god, I wasn't recording, but I had to quickly pull out my camera because something really gross just happened. But I kind of enjoyed reading about it. I don't know if that's weird. I went to look at the beginning of the book and there was no trigger warnings, but at the end of the book there was like a note from the author, and that did lift some of the trigger warnings. Some of you might not want to read about certain themes, but it is an adult book, so check trigger warnings in case if you are sensitive to any of these specific topics. Yeah, it was quite gruesome, but it was good. I liked it. Guys, I told myself this was going to be a pretty vlog and I'm not going to vlog at night, but it is 1 a.m. in the morning and I don't know why I'm wearing a robe. I'm so warm. Give me a second, let me take it off. This book is like getting to a good turn of events. I've accepted it that this is a bit complex since I've never read Manacled. I couldn't put it down. Like, it's literally 1 a.m. in the morning and I wanted to go to bed at like 10:30, 11, but yeah, I just couldn't. I was like, one more chapter, just one more, just one more. Good morning, it is the next day. As you know, I stayed up all night last night and it's getting to a point where it's like really gripping and I'm really understanding what people meant by sticking through. So I'm about a third of the way into Alchemised and I can't really say much without spoiling because it's all really happening and we're like giving more context to everything that we were confused about at the beginning. So my advice is hold on because it kind of all starts to make sense. The thing is, I found myself rereading sentences over and over again, especially around the world building when I first started, and that was taking so much of my time and it was really taking me out of the story as well. But what I found as I kept reading is that some of it isn't super important, but as you keep reading, it all starts to make sense. Like words and phrases and tactics that you had no idea what I was talking about starts to make sense. And you're like, oh, so that's why that person was doing that. It gives more context. So yeah, my advice is push through and it will become a better time. And it's been a while since I've done an update and I am almost at the end. So I just entered part 3. It kind of feels surreal at this point. We're in the present and then we go back in the past and then now we're back in the present. At the beginning, I didn't know what the hell was going on because I guess Helena was also just as confused. But that middle section with all the backstory, like everything makes sense now. And then now I'm going back to the present. Those names, the situations, it's all like clicking into place and like that is the best feeling you can get from a book. There's still so many little things that I don't know if I've missed the explanation and I don't know why these characters have done certain things. I just know they've done it. I'm guessing if I do a reread, it will make a lot more sense given now you know when the first time you're learning something, you're really trying to grasp onto the key things and you miss a lot of the like smaller things that give it context. And I feel like that's me. I've missed a lot of that and that's why I don't understand that nitty gritty. So I'm just going with the flow. I have like 140-ish pages left of this book and I'm hoping I can finish it today. I'm on the last 2 chapters of Alchemised. I'm gonna chuck on a mask because I feel like I'm gonna need a little bit more help because right now I have this feeling that something's gonna hit me like a ton of bricks and I want to be fully prepared when it comes. Say something, but I have no words. I don't know what I expected from that ending, but it wasn't that. And I think I'm just gonna have to take the night to process. I'll check back in with you guys soon. It is now the next day and I've had one night to ponder about the ending of this book. if you haven't read already, just skip the next couple of minutes and I'll let you know when to resume, because this might be a bit of a spoiler. But honestly, I was expecting a not a happy ending. I wasn't expecting them to be together in the end. I was just waiting for something terrible to happen to them. Is that bad? Maybe I just had a protective sheet over my heart because I was fearing for my life for these characters. They've been through so much, and just to see them together, I mean, happy, not happy, you know. Overall, I gave this book a 4 stars. I thought it was a good book. Just that 1000 page plus, could have done a little bit more editing and like skip some of the middle bit that was not critical. And honestly, I think this book would have benefited a lot from having like a glossary at the start to just kind of like introduce us to the world, because I had no idea what was going on for a big part. And I understand she's lost her memory, but just allowing the reader to do a little reference point so I didn't have to keep googling, and I was so scared to spoil certain things for myself that like I was kind of hesitant, but I needed to understand and like trying to remember all the characters, who they are, which side they're on. I think that was my only little like critique for it. The characters did grow on me. Like I really was invested in their story, but not in the way where like we're going to be best friends, and not in the way where I want to be their friends. Hell, I don't ever want to be their friend, honestly. It is a crazy world in here. But like I know them so intimately, and the way they think, every little battle, every challenge, I really was rooting for them like to the very, very end. And I'm really, really glad that I went on this really long journey with them. At some of the points it was cold outside, but I was perspiring so much because the scenes were so intense and I was so invested in what was happening that I felt like I was in battle with them. This was a big, heavy book, but I think it was an eye-opener, something totally out of the genre I normally read. If you have read it, please let me know down below what your thoughts are, what was your rating, and if you haven't, also let me know, is it something on your radar? You kind of like intrigued, or you're just along for the ride? That's also fine. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.